Hello, friends. Welcome and welcome back. For those of you who are new, it's so good to have you. This is Korenna Aster, the Korenna Astrology. We are the answer community. So I am so happy to share with you the Chinese astrology and the sidereal astrology of this new moon and maybe a tiny bit before that and a little bit after. We're going to get into it, but I wanted to start by sharing a couple of things that have been on my heart mind, and we will see if any of this ties into the current astrology, or I will be back if because actually some of this I haven't really had time to explore, so it'll be kind of fun. So I might be just thinking out loud, stream of consciousness here with you. And I want to say that today is April 16th as I am recording this, and I'll be getting this out to you all soon. It is the dark moon, the day before the new moon. So the energy is really low. It is the lowest before the new moon, and it is a particularly challenging day. I'll get into why that it feels more challenging, but some of us are definitely dealing with body pain and or emotional stuff going on. So triggers. So yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky day to say the least. And I know that yeah, my body is kind of still going through it today. So anyway, I hope you're doing some good self-care out there. I know I have been, and also getting some work done, but some of us want to or need to or have to. Maybe it's all of the above for you. It kind of is for me, but yeah, so one of the things that has been coming up in the field, and this has kind of been coming up for with me for a while, but I wanted to talk about it because I haven't really shared this with you guys. But um, I'm a big proponent of, I guess I'll just call it, there's a better word, but I'll just talk about it as anti-aging at the moment. It's not that I am opposed to aging, it's just that I have an Aquarius rising, and I definitely feel that a lot of us aren't going to age the way that we have or that we used to, or that we're going to start reverse aging if you haven't already. And I actually know people, and I've seen this with people that I know. So sometimes a person could be in a lot of trauma, or they could be going through a area in time in their life when they're more angry, or just being more challenged, and so therefore more angry, and they can actually, and it may not even be anger, it could be bitterness, could be, yeah, hatred, even resentment. Some of these there you could be going through guilt, and so again, this isn't to fault any of us if we are going through a time when we are going through this, because I have been there. The point is that those emotions are really hard on us. The other thing that is really hard on us, of course, is overworking. And also not just overworking, because I think um, like there are times when I will push myself a lot in terms of like maybe I'll have a long day, like a 10-hour work day. However, I'm doing a bunch of things that I really enjoy doing because I get to do my own business. And that doesn't mean that I don't do some other work sometimes too. But that this could be a business day that I'm choosing to spend a good 10 hours. And so some of you might be thinking, well, that is way too much. And why would you do that if you work for yourself? Well, I actually want to, because there are some days when I just have that kind of energy, and I might have a lot I want to accomplish, and a lot of different reasons. So but I'm bringing that up because when we are going against our flow and the flow of nature, and so that really means when we're basically going against ourselves. So when we're really out of sync and we're just forcing ourselves to do some work that we feel we have to, or that we do have to because we're at a job that we have to. So if there are, yeah, some different uh, things where we're forcing ourselves, that's when we start to really age. That's when we really start to get a gray hair, or we get a wrinkle or something, and so it's yeah, those things where, or if you're consistently not giving yourself enough sleep, you're staying up late when you know that the alarm's going to go off and you're going to be tired again tomorrow and you're going to just start the day again with coffee. And again, this is forcing ourselves to go at a certain pace, right? And again, this isn't faulting anybody or trying to make anybody feel bad if this is something that you currently do. It's just an awareness. And also, it is an invitation that there is a point when you can go get into a place where you can flow more. If you're not there, if don't have, if you can't make your own schedule, if there's just so many things going on that you're just like, I have to do all these things for the kids and my work and everything else. Like, I get it. Like, there's sometimes a time in our life when we go through that. And we can also, I think, slowly get into more of a pattern. And I think more and more of us are and have been and, are making a priority to be like, hey, like I may work, but I'm also not going to force things. Like, yeah, I may want to have some social time, but I'm also not going to, you know, just overschedule myself just so that I can, make that, certain activity or whatever. So, yeah, but anyway, I also follow Greg Braden, and he's somebody that maybe a lot of you might know, but he also has talked about the body's ability to age to at least 200. Probably, from what I'm hearing, people actually, the human body can probably live to be more like 300 or 400. So again, you guys might be thinking, well, I wouldn't want to live to be that old. That sounds terrible, because you might be thinking like your body's going to be old and decrepit. Well, again, this is where I really would challenge you. And yes, if we aren't taking very good care of our body, or if, and again, or if we're having a lot of health issues, there are ways to get into a place where we're going to feel better. But yes, it does take movement. Yes, it does take right diet. Yes, it does take resting properly, all these different things that really help rejuvenate the body. So there are all the pieces. And again, yeah, we definitely don't want to be around feeling miserable for decades. I don't think that that is part of what we're supposed to endure here. I think there are periods of time that we can sometimes have a soul agreement to go through a health challenge, like on and off. That's going to happen throughout life. That's just part of life. And I think that also we are a lot more capable of healing things more quickly and faster, and we will in the future, because we're going to have better mindset and we're going to have better ability to like visualize and believe. And I think the really key thing is like the mindset and the belief around being able to um be able to go, yeah, into these ideas of being like, you know what, I just healed my autoimmune that I found out I had in a month. It's completely healed because I literally just changed all my diet. I started following all these protocols. I started taking all these supplements and never went back. And I actually know people that have done that. So, if they catch it early, especially, right? If yeah. So, these are things that we can all work towards. And I am, yeah, on the 200-year plan at least. I mean, I think we're going to, again, come back to thinking that the age of 50 is actually like infancy almost. Like, not really, but like, we'll be like, wow, that person is so wise and they're only under 50. Like, boy, they're only a quarter of their life old, instead of being like, oh, you're over the hill. Like, you're almost to the other side of your life. Like, I've always felt like the whole idea was ludicrous. I've always said I was going to live to be 100 when I was a kid. Now I'm saying I'm going to be at least 200. It's probably going to be older. We'll see. But that's just a fun thing. And I do want to say that some of this energy does have to do with Aries, because the new moon tomorrow is in Aries. The sun is in Aries finally. It only went into Aries on the 14th. And remember, I am a sidereal Vedic astrologer, so placements are different within the signs, or the sign, so the houses and usually the planets are like they're all in the same, but where in what sign is going to change depending on if you're following tropical or not. So, yeah, so just lots of Aries is a lot about these maverick ideas, and there is this initiatory new beginning energy. It's not Aquarian energy, unless there's more of that energy in the chart. And actually, on the day that the sun went into Aries, the moon was in Aquarius. I believe this was around the time when I was just thinking about it. And in the days following, I've been hearing more about um, this whole thing around, yeah, how, just this mortality that we, have always, I mean, of course, in a sense, we all will have an immortality because we have a soul. I think a lot of us know that. But anyway, so this is kind of fascinating because, yeah, this is a very Aquarian, but also like that Aries energy is about like a maverick idea. So it's kind of cutting edge, right? Something different as well. So we began that energy on the 14th, like I said. And I am going to, thanks for listening to this all. I kind of had a fun tangent there. So I want to go into the chart right away. I'm going to share my screen. So, um, oh, interesting. And yeah, I mentioned that the energies are tough today. And so, yeah, it's been a frustrating day for myself a little bit, just with my body. I've had to tend to my body a lot. And the reason for this is, and then my mouse died right before I was going to get on here. I dropped my mouse and so I'm using my finger to scroll around, which annoys me terribly. I don't have patience with technology. I forget to breathe. Um, so yeah, it's very annoying. Wow. Anyway, so here we go. Um, yeah, there's a lot of ads around this, so it's annoying. Oh, I don't know if you guys are seeing. Okay, hopefully you are seeing the share screen. It did show me, but then I wasn't sure. Okay. And like I said, I am toggling with a very annoying mouse, not mouse. So I am trying to breathe and have patience, but thank you so much because, yeah, this is just not wanting to. Oh, thank God I have a touch screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, so part of what, oh, and so of course, then it switches on me. So this is a tropical zodiac that we're currently looking at, where we have this huge long stellium in Aries. That is not the sidereal chart. So now on the 16th, we are still having a lot of energy in Pisces. We actually have a Pisces stellium. And some people might be like, well, it does feel very Aries. Well, again, the sun is in Aries. We also have Chiron in Aries. But what I want to share about Pisces that some people forget, because yes, Pisces is a very dreamy energy. It's a compassionate energy. It's lovely. It's healing. It's emotional. It's in touch with its feelings, right? All of this juiciness. And I mean, there is this lower octave of the Pisces energy that because Pisces is about beliefs. And so the lower octave is this rigidity to a belief. And so you can see this in the outer world right now. We've been dealing with this with the war and all these different things with yeah, the different countries, the heads of state, right? With these very fixed attitudes. So the Piscean energy can get very fixed. And yeah, so some people that are, um, yeah, just super like cult leaders or things like that, or that, yeah, are political leaders that have just done terrible things. Sometimes they are Pisces rising or Pisces or moon in Pisces, so that can sometimes be the case. So obviously they'd have to have other placements in their chart. It doesn't mean, again, that most Pisces people are like this. I'm just saying we all have this lower octave energy. So what's also been really difficult is that we've had this Mars energy here with Saturn and Neptune. So we've been having this for quite some time now. And so we've had a difficult couple of months. It has not been easy because Mars right now we are experiencing this Mars with Saturn conjunct. I mean, it's conjunct with Neptune too, but we'll talk about Mars conjunct Saturn is about wanting things to happen in the world that are not necessarily always happening because Saturn teaches discipline, Saturn teaches patience, Saturn is the hard work. Saturn teaches us to learn routines and to know that all great things take time. And that is not an easy lesson for most of us to learn, especially when we're younger. But, I think plenty of older people struggle with patience, too. So, and I don't mean just patience about trivial things. I mean, I'm talking about patience with the things that take hard work, like running and owning a business, so or raising kids, these things that it's just like, wow, okay, well, I'm still dealing with this, right? And and then of course, one of the more difficult aspects that we are experiencing today is the sun is conjunct Chiron, and that is an exact conjunction. And so there is more of the woundings or the triggers that are on our minds, and that is something that is coming up for us. And I would also say, let's see, I'm just checking the numbers. So Chiron is, yes, it's barely conjunct the moon. So, um, yeah, we are definitely feeling, and again, this could be a body trigger or a mental trigger. So mentioned I'm experiencing a headache. I think I said that. I know some other people are, dealing with body flare-ups today, however that's flaring up for you. And because also we have Mercury close to Neptune, I mean, not just close, it's exactly conjunct. We've had this, it's been close recently, but today it's an exact conjunction. So we can also be not feeling like we can make a decision, a little bit of cloudy thinking. Also, it isn't a good time the night before a new moon, or excuse me, even just not just the night, but the day before a new moon to really make any big decisions. I mean, it is that dark moon. It's really just kind of an energy to start to kind of go inward a little bit. And then once the new moon is there, some of us feel a little bit more energized. I think we will feel a lot more energy tomorrow and a lot more optimism because the moon will be in Aries. But today, with this Chiron conjunction to the sun and the moon, then we are, feeling a little bit more, especially with the moon being in Pisces, we're just feeling a little bit more vulnerable. We're feeling, yeah, a little bit of the struggle of the test of Saturn with Mars. So Mars is really kind of creating some anger for some people, and some people are, going to be throwing temper tantrums today and or having rage fits or whatever. I mean, it is kind of going on and off the last few days and will continue for the next week. Sorry to say, but Mars placement here is not easy. So plus it's close to Mercury. So again, it's just this Mars and Mercury making us like be a little bit aggressive in our communication. We may not be having that pause before we actually talk. So we may be more reactive. So yeah, very difficult energy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the easiest day. And then on top of it, we have this Jupiter squaring the moon. So Jupiter really amplifies this discomforting energy, this uncomfortable energy. So it is definitely a challenging day. And because Jupiter is in Gemini, which is about the mind, and so it's just another aspect that's affecting our mind. So yes, more people are having headaches. It may not be coming that way for you. It could be more in the terms of mental overthinking or negative thinking, those sorts of things. But yeah, just know that you're not alone and we will get through this. But take some deep breaths, and I know I've certainly had to get your essential oils on and do those kinds of things. And then, gosh, I I just jumped right in here to the sidereal chart, but I am so glad I did. So I want to share the day energy of the Chinese astrology, and then I guess I wanted to talk about the entire energy for the month. So maybe I'm gonna end on that note and just go day by day and then come back to the energy of the whole month with the Chinese astrology because it is a young water dragon month. I know I talked barely about this my last video. I just did a little quick like 3 or 4 day update last time. And so yeah, I'm back to talk about the new moon energy. But yeah, so here on the 16th, it's a young metal monkey day. This is a good day to also fix problems. And there is, even though, I wouldn't say it's a great day to start any project, that's like a long-term kind of project. You could still start something today, but, I think one of the best parts of today with the monkey is it's going to fix problems. Like I was supposed to have 2 clients today and they both rescheduled and it was like, you know what? I got this. I got you. Like we can reschedule. Like, sometimes life comes up and this is one of these days again that we're all struggling and dealing with something that is triggering or bothering us that we have had to face. So yeah, we're just doing the best that we can. The monkey has solutions, so that's great. Again, a little bit of fierce energy because of that young metal energy. It can be a little bit more blunt. So try to be gentle with your words. If you're frustrated with somebody, you might want to just not talk to them if you can, or wait, to say something. Yeah, take your time. So, yep. And then at around 5 a.m. on April 17th, we move into our new moon energy. So tomorrow, when we are getting up or after we've gotten up for our day, we will be in this new moon in Aries energy. And I also just want to mention that Venus has been in Aries for well, it's been about 3 weeks now. So it began on March 26th. And I find that Venus in Aries is not my favorite energy. It's not terrible, but Venus was in Pisces, whereas it was exalted. So we just had that prior to March 26th. So if you fell in love with somebody or fell back in love with your life or a hobby or something, or got a new beautiful look last month before the 26th, or really got in touch with your values, we can thank Venus in Pisces for that. Now that Venus is in Aries, it's not that it's bad, it's just that this is in our love life, it is a fast-moving energy, so it can be very dynamic and playful. It can be action-oriented, and so if you like action, if you want to, if you're a pretty active person, then Venus in Aries might be perfect for you because you might be able to notice that you are, yeah, just out there, getting, doing a lot more fun things, in a dating world and or with your spouse, your partner, your loved one. Uh, yes, Venus can deal with friendships, but it's not as much the planet of friendships. But yes, I mean, there is that as well. So we can have some things there, but also the downside, the lower octave energy of Aries is that it can be very independent and it can be just a little bit snappy because it does have that warrior archetype. And so, again, because of some of these difficult placements, especially namely Mars, we may be feeling not as loved by our partner, or they may not have been as careful or gentle with us as we would have liked, and or we may have been doing the same to them. So, and if you're in the dating world, a lot of times these people that come into our life, it's just meant for a very short time and that sizzles out. If that person came in from March 26th, and until, let's see, we will only, actually the moon goes into Taurus in just a few days. So on the 19th, luckily the moon will go into Taurus. So it's a pretty short stay here in Aries, luckily, but if you have been feeling lonely, in love, really struggling with maybe, yeah, you had a breakup more recently or the ending of, yeah, a long-term relationship, these things, whether even, sometimes these 2 or 3 month long relationships can feel very hurtful, especially with this Venus in Aries, because again, we just can really feel that independence energy of the Aries archetype in when it is in Venus, and then that can create us just feeling this isolation. So anyway, again, just be gentle with yourself and, reach out to those that are struggling. And yeah, we just got to do some good self-care, get out and do our earthing, take good care of us. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that I talked about this, but yeah, in a couple days we will have Venus in Taurus, and so that's going to be really lovely. And we can definitely, if we haven't been dating, we can, and or not having any luck in dating, we can be like, okay, time to open the doors again. It's definitely going to have an ability for something that is more earthy, more that would stand the test of time. Being in Taurus, this nice, beautiful earth sign. Um, yeah, so that is going to be super fun. Something for us to look forward to on April 19th. And maybe as some of you are listening, we are already there if you haven't listened to this earlier in the week. So, yeah. And then let's see, what are some of the other important things? So, again, the moon is this new moon is in Aries. And I'm going to just jump into that the Chinese astrology energy is yin metal rooster energy. And so this is going to be an energy that's going to be very vocal. It is going to want to help other people to do something important. And wow, this is so strange because I could have sworn some things were in a different house when I was looking at this earlier. So interesting. I think I was looking at a different day, remembering a different date, but that's okay. So yeah, we have what do we have going on here? So we do have the square with the moon to Pluto. And so again, there could be some things that are transforming us that don't feel very comfortable, that are around triggers. So yeah, it's definitely can be a little bit of a challenging day still. But I think it's really going to depend on your astrology. Whether or not you really get triggered or not is going to depend on more placements. But just know that there is still some of this trickiness and stickiness. But, also it can give us some energy and power to go in a new direction in life, to start a new beginning, because again, we are at the new moon. This is about starting a new, fresh energy for the next 30 days. So, what would you like to create? What would you like to go forward with that is more of a revolutionary idea? And maybe this has to do with death, sex, or metaphysical energies such as astrology, tarot. If any of those things, like, yeah, there could be some more revolutionary maverick ideas, new beginnings in your life around these different concepts or things. So maybe, for example, we could have been really fearing death, and we could be working through feeling like, wow, that's going to be an amazing transition. Now I don't, and having a new belief system around that. Or perhaps it's going to be around, I always wanted to be monogamous, and now maybe I'm open to more casual lovers, but still maybe want to be monogamous. I don't know. There could be, some just varying things that could be coming up when it's in the eighth house of that nature. So that'll be interesting to see what kinds of new attitudes or transformational events that have been happening and are occurring that may cause us to have different ideas around this. And then, yeah, there is going to be also some shocks for people in relationships around this new moon. So there could be sadly, some people being like, yeah, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, because there is a conjunction with Venus and Uranus. And so that could bring those kinds of things around. And so obviously, some people will be experiencing those very difficult transformative triggers. Now, the other thing that Venus and Uranus conjunct could be bringing about is not only these new ideas in like love or sex, but also it could really come down to more of a value and learning more of your values and perhaps recognizing something that is going to shift your perception of yourself or other people or your belief system in life. So remember, we have all this energy in Pisces. And so, that again is going to bring us back somewhat to um, our beliefs as well. So, okay, I am going to move us over to the energy of the, oh, and then also, yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a really good energy on the 17th for starting this new seed or this new beginning, whatever that is, because it is an initiate day in the Chinese astrology. So you can start something new, definitely after 5 a.m., but I don't think most of us are going to be starting something new before then. So we should be good. And I am in mountain time, so just, FYI. Okay, we're going to move to the next day. And, oh, there we go. All right, so now we've come to, okay, just making sure on April 18th, we are at, again, our moon is still in Aries, and I'm going to talk about the Chinese astrology next. So the Yang Water Dog Day. And so this day could be interesting because there is some emotional qualities with people that have yang water. They can feel pretty deeply, and the dog energy can really like to want to help people but also be a little bit bossy, and especially with this moon in Aries, it could just be a little bit more aggressive energy. So again, I just think that we all have to be a little bit aware still with this tendency to be aggressive in our energy and too demanding or being outspoken, or again having these really high expectations of people and or just expectations in general that aren't going to be met, because we are going to have this, or we not that we are going to, excuse me, we have this conjunction that's almost exact now of Mars and Mercury. So again, there's going to be more aggressive talk. Again, that kind of sounds similar in that young water dog energy day. It is a destruction day, we call it in Chinese astrology, which means that it's actually a good day to solve a problem. So, if you can use this as an opportunity to have a constructive conversation, if you have good conscious communication skills, which are basically nonviolent communication. If you haven't followed me so far, that's what I mean by that. The work of Marshall Rosenberg, check him out. I talk about him a lot. I teach that as well. But yeah, so that's going to be something you're going to want to really be using and aware of as best as you can. And the moon is conjunct Venus today. And so that is going to be, again, an energy that'll help us to feel like things are moving really fast in a way. Um, Still in love, and or also it can just again really have us enjoying more beauty, but I think it's going to have us enjoying more things around some new maverick idea, or yeah, more of this new pioneering idea that we are excited about, that again could have to do more with our values and or the discovering of, this something that has to do with a value that is important to us. So there will be still, again, some of this energy from Chiron that is going to be keeping us in a kind of a little bit of a tender spot too. So I think this would be a great weekend to do some extra self-care, to really, find something nurturing for yourself. And yeah, take good care of you. Let's see if there was anything I missed. I think that's pretty much it. So let's move over to the 19th. And this is going to be our Sunday. So now the moon has moved into Taurus, and we have a nice little lineup of the moon and Uranus and Venus here in Taurus. Well, it'll be interesting because again, the moon is conjunct Uranus, so that, and Venus. So again, there could be something that is very shocking that we find out about in our life that has to do with a lover. It could, again, be more of us being able to be more authentic with ourselves. And so maybe it's somebody else that's being more authentic, that's a lover, they're being more authentic, and we will have a big shocking surprise about that. And or, we will be able to have more of an authentic look at our own self and our own values. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then also, as we're experiencing this energy, it is a yin water pig day in the Chinese astrology. So the way that I see that translate is that it could be kind of fun because pigs like to have fun. They also don't want to rock the boat. They can get a little bit emotional. They can get hurt a little bit easily. And yeah, and then with this yin water energy too of the day, I just think we could be a little bit more emotional. So again, I think we're going to want to tend to our hearts. Again, we have this almost exact conjunction of Mercury and Mars, so people could be a little bit blunt, and we don't want to be that ruthless person with our words. Even though Mercury's been in Pisces, I haven't really said that so far, but I've been talking about that. It's been in this for a while. Mercury in Pisces helps us to speak more gently, calmly, and think more compassionately. So that is a good thing. The pig also loves to keep balance and really wants to maintain peace, but it has that very Libra-like energy. So yes, it wants to keep that peace, and yet also it doesn't, again, want to rock the boat. So it's not going to want to speak up. So hopefully people will be less inclined to say things that could be more difficult today, but that still could be something that we might be dealing with. On the other hand, it is what we call a danger day in Chinese astrology, meaning that it's a good time to bring something up that is challenging or, been troubling us. Again, if we are using our conscious communication, I think that could come across okay. Just keep in mind that we have this conjunction with Mercury and Neptune as well. And so this is making us still think kind of foggy and or not communicate in the best way that we would like. And so this is just, again, some of these energies we are dealing with. But the great thing is that Venus has moved into Taurus today. So we have that to look forward to. So even though Venus is conjunct to Uranus, and it may still be a little bit of an odd day. Again, this is just going to so depend on what you have in your chart, how this is going to play out. But if it is still kind of a tricky day, things are going to get better because on the 20th we move into let's take a look here. And I also realized that I did not get something, so I won't have the Chinese astrology for the 20th, but I'm going to go ahead and just give the sidereal astrology for the 20th. And so, like I said, yeah, moon is still in Venus. I mean, excuse me, moon is still in Taurus. That was a good one. We still do have this conjunction of Venus in Uranus, but I really hope that this really means that we are going to be thinking about more revolutionary ideas in terms of what we value that has to do with food and with getting our just basic needs met, because Taurus is about like agriculture and growing food, and I think a lot of us are thinking about how are we going to, like some of us are going to be experiencing pretty severe droughts possibly this year. Now, that's the other thing I want to get to in just a moment here, is that this energy of this month is mitigating some of that. So I'm very happy to be sharing that with you in a moment. And I'm also, want to say that, yeah, whether or not we are in an area where you will be experiencing a drought, it's really not as relevant as the fact that I think more and more of us are recognizing like the prices of things just continue to go up, and that what we're going to have to do in this new economy is grow our own food and learn how to do a lot more bartering and work within new systems of money. So this is about revolutionary ideas, innovative ideas. That's what Uranus brings to us. Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, so it is about these ideas that are revolutionary and it could be to do with yeah, food and just other values that we have. So if we, we value looking beautiful. I mean, I like to look nice. So maybe this is more about like, these innovative ideas to do with your beauty products, your skincare products, making sure that they're clean and wholesome and buying local. So it doesn't have to be all like this is going to be a scary thing. So I think it'll be, again, helping us to have a more authentic look at ourselves and what our values are. And I think the current economy is in general kind of having to, or is creating an opportunity for us to all look at that. And I think we are coming into something that, might be called even sacred economics, where again, we are going to start to see ways that we can where one person wins, we all win. And so, yes, we still need to make money, and also, there's a lot of classes now that are on a sliding scale. I know I have sliding scales in my work available. There, are just these different ways that we can make sure that we are all getting our needs met, and that we're also able to access things so that it's not just for the people that have a lot of money, but if people have more money, then they can offer that, right? So, anyway, that got a little long-winded. I never do that. And I just want to share I'm going to stop this screen share and just talk now about the energy of the young water dragon really quickly, because it's been really fun to learn more about the weather patterns with the Chinese astrology the last few years. And I'm still learning, I feel like, because, you get to see it played out in real time. And when I was first studying Chinese astrology, I wasn't as actively understanding and looking at the weather patterns. And there were some things that again, I've been doing this or I started studying this in 2018, started doing readings, or no, excuse me, no, not in 2018, 2020, started doing readings in 2021. But I would say, I was still learning a lot, and I still am, to be honest. Like, I mean, I hope that we all are still learning, but anyway, so 5 years later, I am really fascinated about this whole weather system and how the elements play out. So, what's really cool is that with this young water dragon month, now the young water energy I'm going to talk about and predominantly, and then I'm going to get to the dragon energy, but the young water takes out the young fire energy of the young fire horse year, because water can overcome fire. As we know, it can put out a fire, right? And so it is the stronger element. It is the more powerful element. And the reason that it is more powerful this month is because there is a direct clash of young water and young fire. And not only that, but there is the earth that is within dragon energy, and the fire has to submit to, I mean, it goes into the earth. That fire element, right, feeds the earth. And so that energy again of the horse year goes into and kind of gets subdued inside of that dragon energy. And so that water energy has a bigger energy this month. And so fascinatingly, again, I mentioned I'm in mountain time. I'm in Boise, Idaho. We are having crazy weather patterns. Like, we had the earliest spring I've ever seen. It was semi-frightening. I think all of us could agree. We were all just like, oh my God, we did not barely have a winter. We're all just like scared to death. Like, I mean, not just sad about not getting to ski or whatever, but literally like, wow, this is not good, right? So, we got to water the crops. We got to, yeah, be able to have enough water, most first and foremost for our food. But then the young water dragon month came along, and if anybody's been following me since the year of the dragon a couple of years ago, we know that this is big energy. Like, my dragon people, you guys are powerful powerhouses. And also, uh more importantly, again, this young water energy is really so powerful that we are experiencing this like second winter. So or the actual real end of winter is kind of coming back around. And so we literally here it's the second week of April. We've been having snow in the mountains and even here in town. There was actually a hailstorm yesterday, a little bit of snow flurry today, lots of rain, which we're all so grateful for because we really, really need it. So I do not see this stopping anytime soon. The weather pattern looks like it's going to be raining on and off here. And or snowing in the mountains for at least the next week or two. And I really see this happening until we get to May. And I would say, and I believe it is on May 5th that we go into our next month of the yin water snake, but I'll have to double check that. And I should have had that ready for you guys, but oh, I do. Okay, that's what I was trying to find. Okay, yes, it is on May 5th that the yin water snake will begin. It's still going to be a wet month, but it will not be as much as the young water. But yeah, we will still continue to have more of a prolonged winter and or wet spring. So probably more like a wet spring, which will be again really gratefully needed in places like Idaho, where we had the worst drought that I've pretty much seen, I think, ever. But yeah, so that's pretty fascinating. The astrology, the energy can always help us to see these things. And so, yeah, now you guys know why we're experiencing this from an astrological point of view. So, pretty fascinating. Thank you guys for staying here till the end. I do have just a couple announcements. So I do have a Shakti Glow Yoga night, Shakti Yoga Glow night, or however I'm saying it backwards one of those ways, but it is a really playful self-care night where we're going to be doing my Shakti breath yoga and we're going to be doing it with black lights, painting ourselves up. That is tomorrow night, Friday night on the new moon, April 17th. So if you get this and you want to join in, text me and see if there's still a spot available. It'll be fun. And, we got to do a little good self-care. We're going to have some cacao at the end. I'm going to do an astrology share there. We're gonna have a little meditation. April Rain will be with me co-hosting. It's gonna be really lovely. So um, I would love to have you. And if you, I really need to drink water. Hang on. Yeah, I should say. And so yeah, I can't remember what else I was going to say on that note, but that's okay. But the other thing is that I'm going to be part of the Wild Sovereign Retreat camp out for Beltane. So this is May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is a 3-day event if you want to do the full camp out. There are still some tickets for the full camp out available, which I'm super excited about. Of course, I'm going to be there the whole weekend. I will be teaching Shakti Breath Yoga on Sunday morning. So you can just come to the Sunday morning. You can just do the all day Saturday pass as well. I recommend one or, there's several options, for different price points. And I think it's actually quite affordable too. So there's a lot of really powerful nervous system regulation, different accessible workshops for people of, yeah, all different, yeah, I think what interests in life, with what there is to be offered on Saturday. So I'm not going to share a whole lot because I made this video already super long, but I will put a link below so you can check that out more. I'm also going to be teaching a moxa and a gua sha workshop on Saturday afternoon in between a couple other of the bigger workshops. So I think that's at 1:15 and 2:15. So I would love to teach you those amazing skills. That's just part of your entrance fee. You will be able to access that. So if you want to learn that from me and or come do some breath yoga and then drumming on Sunday morning or come to the whole experience, we're going to have ecstatic dance on Friday night and of course camping out. This is at Ripple Ranch. That's going to be super amazing. All right, I'm about to lose my voice apparently. So I better close out, but thank you again for being here. Be sure to like this video if you did like it, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and then share with a friend and take good care of yourself. Again, I know the energies have been pretty challenging, but we are getting through it. And it's going to get better. So, okay. Well, thank you again and bye for now. And I'll talk to you real soon. Thank